Well, it's going to create more service calls for sure. So when there's even a small leak, I know a lot of times the homeowners, multifamily units, commercial units, sometimes what you can do is you can just throw a little bit of refrigerant in there. If the leak's small enough and
you put leak seal in it or something like that.
If it's not, if it's leak small enough, you are never required to really fix it. If you other than just costing you some more money every year, as long as it's small enough that you're only doing it like every year and a half, you weren't really required to have to fix it.
Never fear, AllPro is here.
All right, everybody, welcome to the AllPro podcast today, where today we are talking about the lovely 2AL refrigerants.
Wait a minute. I think it's A2L, right?
A2L.
Did you just say 2AL?
2AL? Did I say it?
Let's get this right.
It's 2AL, isn't it? Yeah, it's A2L.
See?
A2L.
There's an A first.
There's an A.
Yeah.
There we go. See, it's so new. We're still getting used to it because they call them that type of refrigerants, but it's really 454B or R32.
Yep.
That's normally how we refer to it. But
oh my God, it's finally here though, right?
It's coming.
I mean, it's here. It's coming. It's changing the world. We are here to talk about the world-changing refrigerant.
That's true. In our world, it is the world-changing refrigerant. This is a big, significant change for the industry. This is not the R22 to the 410 conversion. This one's a little bit more beefier.
Yeah.
It's got a little bit more. So
why is it world-changing though, right?
Yeah. Why is it?
Yes.
Well, because we got a lot of technical data on this, so we're going to be looking down. The American Innovation and Manufacturing, the AIM Act, and the EPA, which is the Environmental Protection Agency for the U.S., have decided that we need to use refrigerants with a global warming potential of less than 700, which basically means these are more environmentally friendly.
There we go. That's the world-changing part, right?
Yep. That's the world-changing part. When does this change?
Killing the environment and putting holes in our atmosphere.
That is correct.
There we go.
And when does this change? January 1st, 2025.
So that is
right around the corner.
Pretty soon.
Yep. So a couple things that this means. January 2025. Oh gosh, there's so much that's going on with this because they're going to stop manufacturing 410 the end December 31st, 2024.
Yay.
And you only have 1 year between January 2025. That'd be 2025, right? Yeah. Okay. 1 year to install those 410 systems.
So on our side of things, right, the business side, the technical side, the technician side of things, we have to do more training on these units. Mm-hmm. The tools are going to have to be upgraded or updated. Mm-hmm. Some of them possibly will be. So they have to be able to be compatible with the new refrigerants, especially our little gas sniffers. They probably won't detect this new stuff. As far as we have a list of tools that possibly might have to be changed out, which is like our gauges, our vacuum pumps, our recovery machine. So all that kind of stuff right there, we are currently working on to make sure that we are compliant and taking care of this new refrigerant that's coming out.
And increased use in nitrogen. That's going to be something that they're telling us we're going to have that.
Okay.
Yep. And hold on. Before we go on, there is changes in ours, but we didn't actually answer what 2AL means. What is the definition of a 2AL refrigerant? Definition: 2AL is the lowest flammability classification for refrigerants. They are difficult to ignite and non-explosive. But
they do have a small component of propane.
No.
Right?
No.
That's what they told us.
Well, they changed it. It's not propane.
Changing it already?
Yes.
We just got this new refrigerant.
I know.
They're already changing it.
Yeah, it's not propane.
It's not?
That's no.
Okay, sorry guys, I lied.
I thought so too.
Good thing we have boss lady here to correct me. So.
Well, and that's what we were originally told. So this is a good point though, because this is like an ongoing thing, because it's been told, yes, it has propane in it. Yes, it has this. Yes, it has this. It's already changed.
There's
guys.
a lot of misnomers out there. Evidently, I don't even know sometimes which ones are right.
Which is why we're getting ready to go through.
We're going over this, right?
That's right. And we're going to go through certification classes. Our guys are going to start going through certification classes very soon in this, because it's not here just yet, but it's right around the corner. So we're going to start our actual technical training, which is a whole different thing.
On how to recover it, on how to install it, because you got to think
How to handle it.
it's got a little bit of more of a flammability to it. You're going to have to handle it a little bit differently. So.
That is correct. I'm trying to make sure that we're covering all this because we didn't answer what 2AL was, and I feel like that's actually kind of important. Are we able to find? Okay, here's another one. So those that have lived through the R22 to the 410 conversion, you could mix and match coils if you changed out your TXV or your piston, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Not with these.
oh, see, that's a big one.
That's
going to cause more cost.
Yes, more cost.
Now it's like, well, we can't reuse one part of the system, and it will be what am I trying to say here?
It'll be like you can't change one part to use the existing system.
Each other, basically.
No, they won't.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. So this is a no mismatch situation. So yes, there will be increased costs for that. There will be increased costs just on the equipment itself because the new equipment has this fancy, they have a fancy term for it. It is the refrigerant detection system, the RDS system. What is that? It's basically a network of safeties on the system that if it detects a leak, it's going to basically just let the blower motor run and shut down the heating or cooling because with its minor flammability that it has, it's a safety requirement for it. So
one of the things
that's going to create service.
One thing that's going to do is create some it's going to create more service calls for sure. So when there's even a small leak, I know a lot of times homeowners, multifamily units, commercial units, sometimes what you can do is you can throw a little bit of refrigerant in there, if the leak's small enough and you
can put leak seal in it or something like that.
If it's not, if it's leak small enough, you are never required to really fix it if you need, other than it just costing you some more money every year. As long as it's small enough that you're only doing it like every year and a half, you weren't really required to have to fix it. Well, now with this new refrigerant, it's going to shut down your whole system. Now you do have to fix these things. So you can't just get by with, hey, let's throw a little bit of refrigerant in there and get through the summer.
Yeah.
Wait till next year. There's a lot of that goes on right now.
Yep. They're going to remove that, which means your preventative maintenance is going to be even more important because you need to be able to find these issues before they become larger issues and it shuts it down. And of course, the worst time of the year, it's going to shut it down when it's the hottest or the coldest out.
Well, yeah, and there's already a shortage of technicians. So you got to think now you have more service calls going on out there and trying to find somebody to come out to fix it. It's going to be even harder now because these things they're shutting down, even if they're just a little, the old systems would run with it leaking a little bit.
Yep.
And they can run for a little while because if it's not a very big leak, but now if this one detects just a little bit of a leak, it's going to shut down. So that's a lot more service calls that with a shortage of technicians that we have to go out and try to and make sure everybody's taken care of.
Yep. And I guess, we did talk about it a little bit earlier. We talked about increased cost, right?
Yeah.
So the question is, how much increased cost are we talking? For equipment itself, that's not the additional labor it's going to require with fire block, all this other stuff. You're talking about a 20 to 30% increase on equipment itself.
Yeah.
By itself, off the top.
Yeah.
That's what it's going to take.
Yeah. That's quite a big of a jump.
Yeah.
A bit of a jump there. So.
Yeah. That's a huge one. So I guess one thing that we wanted to get to is how is this going to affect homeowners, right?
Yeah.
Because there is some different things that are going to happen. So in homes, you're going to see if you have a 3-ton or above system, you're going to need a new line set for sure.
Yeah,
they are not going to be compatible.
That can be sometimes that can be a problem, right? Because, we usually replace line sets all the time anyway, a lot, but there's some out there where the houses, when you replace a line set, you're talking about it's very invasive. You're having to tear out drywall and all kinds of stuff possibly. So if your home needs above a 3-ton system, that could be very, very, very costly. Not just the 20% on the equipment, but now you're talking about, now labor.
Yep.
Right?
And additional materials that we didn't normally need before.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. You don't have to replace a line set every time you replace a system.
Yeah,
If the line set's appropriately
Yeah.
done, you can pressurize it and clean it out and do all that.
Yeah.
But this is going to almost guarantee on some things that we're rerunning new line sets.
Yeah.
So another thing, increased cost, increased labor, right? All right. So how is this going to affect our multifamily commercial guys? Same thing, cost, labor, but it's going to be a little bit more invasive for you guys because, and actually this will affect homeowners too, because the new 454 products, they may have different requirements, such as a different wire gauge, different breaker sizes, different line set diameters. All of those are, like you talked about, very invasive. If we have to rerun a line, we can try and pull it, but if it's new construction and it's stapled in, we're cutting out drywall. We're feeding through wires. Or you're having an electrician do it in some cases. Same thing with that line set. So that's going to affect construction rough-ins because you're talking about you only have 410 for limited manufacture until the end of the year. You only have 1 year to install it. And I had 2 projects this year. I already had problems getting a hold of 410 systems in the current year where the new systems aren't even out. So construction and CapEx projects, they need to act on it quickly and now, so that way they can still get the equipment and they're not going to have a mismatched property where some is 2AL and some's 410.
Well, and we were talking a little bit off camera too, a little bit about this. There's 2 different refrigerants, right? Coming out.
Right.
So it's the 454B and the R32, right?
Right.
So the thing is with that, guys, is one thing that I'd pay attention to that is when they bring out new things like this, the problem is these suppliers couldn't decide on one type of refrigerant, right?
Correct.
So what we needed, my suggestion is what we do with this is go with the one that most of everybody's choosing to go with. And then I wouldn't even probably worry about the other refrigerant, which you said mostly is 454B, right?
454 the large guys are going after.
So I would probably go with that one before I would the R32 because, what usually will happen with stuff like this, I don't know if it will or not, but usually what will happen with stuff like this is everybody will want to adapt to one thing. And if most of them are adapting to this one thing already, I don't see, I wouldn't probably go with one that, they possibly might not even
use very often.
It's
like the minor refrigerant in it.
Yeah.
They're going to tune everything for the other one.
Well, you got to think the other problem is too, is as a technician, you're going to have the most common refrigerant on your truck. And the other one, you're going to be like, man, now I got to go run and go get this, or I don't have it right now. I mean, there's all kinds of possibilities.
Yeah, and that's a good point. When we talk about how we're like, we have these countdown, like, hey, get ready. This is the stuff that you need to start doing. You need to get new gauges. You need to take these safety protocols. You need to take these classes. You need to have this on hand. You need to have this. I mean, you're talking about instead of us now having 2 tanks and 2 recovery tanks, right? 4. All right. It's a nuisance, but it's okay. Now you're talking about 4 different refrigerants on your truck plus 4 recovery tanks for each refrigerant because you can't recover them in
the same tank.
Nope.
Yeah.
So you have to. So we're now like a portable gas house. I don't know what it is like, but and that's the thing that is going to affect service, like you say, because you have 4 different takes to keep. I mean, R22, yeah, you have it on there, but really, honestly, at this point, R22 systems are 20 plus years old. They're replaced.
For us, we're going to make sure they're on our truck, right?
Yes, we're 100% going to make sure they're there.
But this is a this can be a little bit of a service issue possibly down the road, but.
Yep.
Because you guys got to think we have so many different kinds of refrigerants out right now. I mean, even with the R22, there's still R22 systems out there, but there's drop-in refrigerants. So there's probably 4 or 5 different drop-in refrigerants. And some of our clients want us to use this drop-in, but not that one, and then this, and then that. And
it's a lot of fun.
It's a lot to keep track of. So it can definitely slow down service a little bit, but that's either way, that's on our side of things.
Right. That's what we have to deal with. And another thing you're going to want to watch, especially in the multifamily commercial, sometimes they switch vendors quite often. Sky was, whatever cheaper or whatever they weren't available. You're going to see properties that are going to want to either supply their own equipment or they're going to want a specific brand, because the last thing you want to have on a property is you don't want to have some R22s, some 410s. Oh, this guy put in R32 and this guy put in 454B.
Well,
That would be service issues on that side.
Yeah, well, when you're doing stuff like that, it's going to cause you're mixing refrigerants, and that is not good at all.
No.
That can cause compressors to go out. It'll cause it not to work right, and what will happen is somebody will come out there, even the next maintenance guy or the technician or whoever will go out there and they're like, oh, what is going on with this thing? Like, my pressures are looking pretty good, but my subcool or superheater off, things like that. And it's just because somebody's probably put a different kind of refrigerant in there, because like you said, now you have 4 or 5 different systems on site that they take different kinds of refrigerant. It's bound to happen. It's going to happen because you're running around, you're busy, and it's like, hey, let's just throw some refrigerant in there. And you're not thinking, you're like, hey, I need to make sure I look at the tag and make sure it's the right one. So it happens.
Yep. And I mean, we can fix that, right? I mean, it has a process on how to fix it, but it's kind of costly for us to switch over a refrigerant mix, which it happened between, like you said, it's happened multiple times between R22 and 410, let alone, okay, now you have really 4 options. Well, unless you include all the drop-ins, then there's, I don't know, like 20. I have no idea at this point. There's a lot of drop-in options for either of them, because, we talk about equipment for 410 being manufactured through the end of the year, but that also goes for the refrigerant. So very soon there's going to be a cutoff of whatever refrigerant for 410 is whatever refrigerants for 410. You're going to start all the virgin stuff that's never been used is going to be gone. They're going to create probably drop-ins, maybe. I haven't heard of any yet, but they will,
because they will try to cut the price down.
Yep. Or they're going to be recycled refrigerants. There's recycled R22. There's recycled 410. So you'll see some of that stuff going on, which is, right? We try and not use recycled because they do try and get the contaminants out, but is it ever as good as the original that has no contaminants in it? Yeah. I don't know. We haven't seen great luck with it. So I don't know if we're going to. But I mean, that'll be out there. Recycled refrigerants will be a thing. Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. With that being said, do you have anything else on this one?
No, just to recap, prices are going up.
Yep.
Technicians need new tools, and it's better for the environment. And also go with 454B. That's what I would do. I mean, until we find out for sure, which ones everybody's going with. If you have to change out a system, if not, maybe stick to 410A for a minute. If you can get it fixed at now if it's above replacement cost, then you're going to have to replace it. So, but I would go with 454B. That's just my recommendation. I don't know if it's right or wrong or whatever, but I'm just going off of past things that have happened in the industry when things change, things like that. If somebody is going with one refrigerant that most of everybody's using, I would probably do that one.
Yeah. And the good news is you have time. This is going to come out, you have till January 2025, and then you have that whole year. So you have time. Now that you know about it, you can take action and figure out what you want to do. Just know, it's the pros and cons, right? There's like, hey, it's going to be more environmentally friendly, but it might have this other side. It's kind of generation 1, right? It's like I don't want to say prototype, but it's not really. Kind of a prototype, the first one, you always work the kinks out in the first version and it gets better version 2, 3, 4, just like in cars. Right. Yeah. So, that's what we have. We're looking, I don't know I guess we're looking forward to it. I don't know if I want to say that, but we understand it's coming. So we're preparing as best we can. So that way we're ready for it. Our clients are ready for it. And then, hopefully it's going to work out exactly like they want. And it's going to be that much environmentally friendly. We do want to protect the environment. So hopefully it works out for that. Yep. So until next time, make sure you like and subscribe to our podcast at the AllPro podcast. Visit us online at Call AllPro Indy for our blogs and access to our podcasts. And make sure you like us on Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn at Call AllPro Indy. Until next time, peeps.
Later.
Thank you for watching or listening to the AllPro podcast. AllPro Heating and Air is your complete comfort solution. For more information on how we can help you save money with your heating and air systems, visit callallproindy.com.